What's up, YouTube? Spiritual Awareness here with another video. Like, share, and subscribe. And today I'm just going to break down a little bit about my little situation with narcissists and what I went through, especially like with coworkers and friends and family. And so I talked about certain stages of my life, but I'm gonna say this is like I was about 28, so um, I'm gonna say I was about 26 or 27. I was probably about 26. I was young, beautiful, doing my thing out here. No felonies, no kids, no. I had been sliding by. Don't get me wrong. I had been in trouble a few times, but I ain't never really nothing really stuck or nothing really was. I never had no. I had little small things like traffic tickets or something like that. And so yeah, like I'm running around la di da di da. Don't know what I'm doing out here, naive, right? And I run up on this one narcissist, right? This is my first wife, and pretty much she put me through the ringer, right? And so in the midst of doing all that, though, I did get a blessing, and I found cable sales, door-to-door cable sales, and this was probably like about 20 years ago. Like right now, I'm 45. I was probably like 26. This is probably like 19 years ago or something like that. And I found cable sales, and that kind of changed my life. It puts me into another tax bracket. Like I started making about $100,000 a year from making, I started 12, 15, 20. I started building my way up, but I made it into sales and found out because I had got good at sales doing telemarketing, and I was a dog and a beast at telemarketing. And it was like it really wasn't like giving me the income that I wanted. And then I ran into cable sales, and I was able to create my own income. And it was like people would laugh at me, but I didn't care because it was like they didn't know how much I made. They'd just see me walking around, knocking on people's doors, just walking, and they'd be like, "Man, what's wrong with you?" And I'd be like, "Man, your business," you know what I'm saying? And I just do my thing, and I just make my money. And my idea was I was gonna get out of there, and I did. And I was able to escape. But before I left, and this was a long time before I knew anything about narcissism. I had already started going on my spiritual journey, but it was like I couldn't see my kid. It was like um, she was running narcissism on me after she had got pregnant. I didn't know what narcissism was, so I was kind of messed up in the head, right? And she wouldn't let me see the baby. Like even when the baby was born, the day the baby was born, I went to the hospital because I never forget this day. I was at my brother's house and I was asleep on I was in my old room. My brother kind of helped raise me. It's like, yeah, my brother, my oldest brother. I'm the youngest of all my mother kids, so my brother, he 18 years older than me. But yeah, he kind of helped raise me, whatever case may can be. So his house is like home for me. I'm near my brother's house and I'm laying in the bed in my room. You know what I'm saying? I got my own room there and I'm laying in the bed, and I'm like, the Holy Spirit talked to me and said, "Get up, that woman down there having your baby." I said, "Stop playing." I got up, jumped on the phone, called down, and sure enough, she down. I went down and she had the police escort me out. I didn't get to see my baby being born. And I never forget, I ran into her auntie at the store. God rest her soul. I was going to get a drink and she was going to get a drink. She seen me, she was like, "Oh, baby, I don't know why they did you like that. The baby looked just like you." She was like, "You such a good person. I don't know why they treat you like that." She was like, "But I always got love for you." This and that. Her auntie, she ended up passing away though. But yeah, she had love for me though. But make a long story short, I went through that. And that kind of caused me to just get out of town because they was getting me locked up. I was getting locked up left and right. Every time the police pulled me over, they'd be like, "Did you go back there to try to see your kid?" And I'm like, "Oh, man, I was just going through it." I have kind of got locked up, I'm talking about so many times, like about 9 to 10 times just trying to go see my kid. You know what I'm saying? It got to the point where I was getting locked up for not even trying to go see my. It was like they was trying to tear my whole life down. But it was like every time they tear me down, I was just coming back stronger. Because I'll never forget one time, and this is how God bless you. One time they thought they had tore my life down. They kind of did. They made me lose my car, my job, my crib, right? Man, but they look up in the month. That's how that cable sales was. Because in a month, I could make $10,000. So at the time, it was like I was around a lot of people that had minimum wage jobs. And my income had boosted up because I had got into sales and I wasn't telling anybody what my pockets was looking like. And then it was like I was hitting licks too. Like I was hitting licks, like I played poker. And it was like I'd be like out hustling or whatever the case would be, just like a dope dealer, but I'm selling legal stuff. And then we'd meet up at night and it'd be like the hustlers would think I ain't got no money. And they'd be like betting out their pocket, which we ain't supposed to do. Oh, nigga, bet $2,000. And I'd be like, okay, bet that and raise you $3. Man, I would tear their heads off. The hustlers, I'd tear their heads off. And the next day or something, I'll pull up, I'd be giving them a ride. They'd be like, the next day, I'll bust their head again. And then they'd be like, hey, bro, give me a ride home. We get outside, they'd be like, you got a new car? I'd be like, yeah, y'all niggas bought me a new car. Y'all talking about raise and all this, trying to bet out y'all pockets. Y'all know I'm blessed around here. Y'all think the cable man ain't got no money. Yeah, I was getting money too. And so a lot of people didn't like that. They were trying to say I was a drug dealer. They were trying to say a lot of different stuff about me. And so it was like God was pushing me out of town. And it was like I was scared to go out of town because I never had really been like away from my family, never had been away from like, I had traveled a couple hours away from the home city in the same state or something like that by myself, but never like actually been like in another state. It was so crazy that everybody, the only one who really kind of supported me back then was my brother who I lived with, and he was telling me like, your mother would already be proud of you because our mother had passed away. And he was like, our mother already would be proud of you and you should leave, but everybody wants you to stay, but they just want to keep you back. Just go and do what you got to do. And that's what I did. And I ain't gonna be like, it was scary because when I got there, my first road trip was Richmond, Virginia. And it was like, when I pulled up in Richmond, Virginia, it was like, I'm used to being in the projects, right? I'm from the projects. So it was like, I'm just gonna go out here. And when I got there, I probably had like, because what happened was, the team that I was working with had shut down, and they was like they was gonna go to Chicago, and I was like, you know what, I ain't gonna go. I'm just gonna stay here. I got money. I'm just gonna chill. But after me being there for a while, my money started dwindling. So I was like, I gotta do something. I can't just be sitting around here. I was like, you know what? I had talked to some people in Richmond, Virginia. They was like, come out here. We got you. You know what I'm saying? You just need you a truck and a ladder because we not only do the sale, we install it on the we install it. So I'm like, okay, bet. And I went out there, and then when I first got there, I probably had like, I ended up investing, getting a truck, getting a ladder, getting all the tools and stuff that I need. I probably had like $40. You know what I'm saying? I probably had $40. And I was like, man, I got there, I was like, man, I need some more money. So I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go out and do me a couple jobs and get me some money on the side, right? I gotta go hook me up a couple bootlegs or whatever the case, right? That's back in the day when you could have basic cable, right? Yeah, so that's what I did. And but when I went into the projects to do the sales, I had to muster up the strength because I'm just coming from a whole nother state, just walking into somebody's area telling me, hey, yo, y'all need a bootleg. You know what I'm saying? That's not easy to do in the projects. And they see I'm not no crackhead, and I'm a young nigga. I'm riding good. I'm a nigga. I've got on clean clothes. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how I rock. And so, man, that shit, I threw up the first time I had to do that. I had to muster up the courage. I just, boom, when I pulled up in VA and I opened up my door and realized I was so far away from home without knowing nobody and with like $40 in my pocket, I got to get it how I live. Man, I threw up. That's how crazy it was. But, so what I did was one day, I was like, not with my wife no more. I was dating this other woman, another narcissist. Or another spirit, the same spirit had jumped in another woman. But this woman was a decent woman, but she's a hoe. She gonna cheat on any man that she be with. But make a long story short, I don't say she a hoe. Because it'd be like, nobody really know her. Like a hoe, if you go to jail, everybody know your bitch. Like nobody really know her, but she probably gonna cheat still. You know what I'm saying? she'll find one person to cheat without a town or something like that. That's how she is. You know what I'm saying? And so, make the long story short, where how it is like, I was kind of like finna go out of town or whatever the case may be, but I was kind of like dating her, but kind of not. And one day I was on my way to her crib, and it was like when I got there, she wasn't there, so I had went in her backyard to smoke me a blunt, and I'm back there smoking, and God showed me a vision, and he showed me how he was like, you only tapping into, like, he showed me a grid, and he was like, with this cable thing, you tapping into like this much with $100,000, when you could be tapping into so much more. And he showed me a vision of me with a team, like they all dressed alike, khakis, they work shirt on, all hitting the doors, and I was like the owner of the company or the supervisor, the boss, whatever. And it was like that vision came true. Like it came to the point where I didn't go nowhere out of state. After I had mustered up the courage and I for all of my fears, I faced all of my fears and became a real man and stood on my own too out there on the road. I started recruiting a lot of people from out of town to come where I was and get money too, and I was making money off of that. And so it was like I would go nowhere without like 20 to 40 guys with me. I was known, so people called me, hey, where everybody at? But I'm by myself. What? You by yourself? What's such and such? I'm not with nobody. I'm by myself. You know what I'm saying? Because they used to me having 20 to 40 guys under me or with me. You know what I'm saying? And one of them was like my dog. He like family. I call him my brother because he's my brother's common law wife brother. And so he the first one who I introduced to the road. And he ended up becoming like my business partner. He a hardworking guy, but I don't believe he's a narcissist. I believe he's a sociopath. And they more harder to figure out because a sociopath could be very social. I mean, as far as like how you watch out for these toxic individuals is they always want to get in your mix. Watch out for people like that. Like me, I'm the type of person that say me and you cool. I'm not finna come over there and be cool with with everybody that you got. I'm not, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll be cool with them, but I'm not finna get to try to be more friends with them. Like say that me and you cool. And then you got a homeboy and your cousins and your brothers and people that you hang out with. I would never come around and try to get more cool with one of them than I am with you or than you are with them. That would never be, I would never think of nothing like that. Like you my dog, I kick it with you, we kick it, whatever the case may be. I might be cool with them or whatever the case may be, but I would never have a plot in my mind. Watch out for people like that. That's always trying to get in around the people that you know. Because when a person do that, they can get a lot of power and control, spread smear campaigns, tell people certain things about you. And these people get slick like that. And that's how this dude was. It took me years to find out about it. Years to peep his game out. How I really peeped his game out is when I really started finding out about gaslighting. He gaslight a lot. But I don't say he's a narcissist because he's not like a low-life person that would never do anything for anybody. But you got to watch out for these people because they can get real envious. And he is also Machiavellian. You got to watch out for some people like that. They Machiavellian. And some people that's Machiavellian, like I think I got a little Machiavellianism in me. But you don't have to worry about them so much unless you get in their way. You know, Machiavellians are opportunity. They always trying to get money. They always got plans and schemes to get money. That's how he is. But he help people. He do things for people. But I think my light just threatened him. He hated I always steal the shine. And that just always, I could see it in him. It was like, sometimes I'm funny and I make jokes and stuff because it's almost like I'm more flashy than he is. Like he more like, to me, he from New York, but he country. He Jamaican. He country. To me, he can spend a lot of money. He do spend a lot of money trying to me look like me, because I just got a certain type of swagger how I carry myself, right? The car that I drive, the way that I move, right? And I think it bothers him to his core, right? because it's like I be stunned sometimes. And I do sometimes, like I used to do stuff like motivate my crew. Like if I got like physically be like, we was kind of like equal, but everybody knew that I was the boss. Because sometimes I had to scream on him too. And I'm the one who had the contracts. And I was the one who was putting him as my business partner. And I was making him my equal. He wasn't really my equal. Like nobody respected him for what he did until I feel like he tried to steal my power. You got to watch out for people like that. They'll steal your power. That is what it's called, an energy vampire. What do you think they're doing with that energy? They harvesting it to manifest. Because they see that you can manifest. And that's what, so this dude started bringing a lot of people around me that was shady. None of the people that he bring around me liked me. They all had something against me. It was like, and then it was like also people around me that was like, even before people even got a chance to know me for myself, you had these old whack haters always putting stuff in their head like, oh, he gonna steal your money. Oh, he gonna do this, he gonna do that. So a person already had the aspect, it was like, you know how in life, people always got somebody to blame besides themselves. So it was like, when a person money ain't right, it's my fault because I'm balling. And we work together, but it's like, don't get me wrong, I didn't leave nobody out. I made sure everybody ate. But it would just be like, it'd be like this. Guys would borrow money from the company. They'll borrow like, they'd be like, oh, I need to take care of this business and do this and that and that and that. I need to go home. I got this situation going on. I need $2,500. So they'd get the $2,500. And then it'd be like, I used to have this program where I used to like get together and we all give our goals. And this is how one dude started hating me. Not that dude. This another dude that used to work for me that started hating me, right? This is how he started hating me, right? We used to have this thing. And see, the reason why I'm laughing is because a lot of times it would have been like, I wasn't putting a joke on them, but the whole situation would just be funny and everybody would be laughing. And a lot of times that hurt people's feelings. And they be wanting to kill you, man, after they get laughed on in front of a lot of people like that. It's not that I'm laughing with you, but you don't find the shit funny because it's your money or whatever the situation may be. Which I do understand, but I still don't feel like I was in the wrong. Okay, like the one dude, this is how it is. We get together every day and we tell our goals. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you shouldn't do this probably. But this is what we used to do. Like this is how I used to motivate them because it'd be like everybody started getting lazy, everything. And so the company that hired us would be like, Dave, you know how you do it. We need you to motivate them. And so I get paid when they do good too. So I'm like, okay, I need to motivate everybody. So I used to have this thing where we used to tell our goals. And so this one dude, he owed money to the company. So he'd be like, I want to go out and I want to make $2,000 a week. And I'm going to get the company $1,000 and I get $1,000. I'm going to do that for 2 weeks, then get them $500. Then I'm going to get my money and I'm going to go buy me this certain type of truck. You know, everybody say their goals. This was his goal at the moment. He didn't have a vehicle. He just came back in from out of town. He was in debt to the company because he had been borrowing money, he had been off on vacation doing something. I don't know what he was doing, but this was his goal, right? Now you can make your goal whatever the fuck you want your goal to be, right? So he hit his goal, but he was unsatisfied with the goal that he hit. He like, man, I just made $5,000. I mean, I just made $6,000. They just took $2,500. You know, and I spent the rest on my damn truck. Now I'm broke. I'm like, well, you got to go back out and grind. That was your goal. But then after that nigga hated me. That nigga hated me after that. After that nigga, he hated my guts because I had a goal too. Everybody had their goal, right? And everybody hit their goal. But people was mad at me because my goal was bigger. Like the truck that I wanted, I got. They made it, they sell for a little or smaller truck. I wanted a truck. At the time, I wanted a 2007 or better. It was probably like 2011. I had a 2011 Charger, or I had a brand new Charger already, but I wanted a 2007 or better Range Rover or a Yukon, and I ended up getting the 2007 Yukon, right? The niggas was pissed. They was mad as hell that I had got that truck and I already had that car. But even before then, it was like, because this had been years that I had people working for me, like 15 years. More than that. Like out of 20 years, probably 17 of them that I had large groups of people running behind me or with me and shit. And so it was a lot of shady shit going on where it was like a lot of people just was like intimidated by my light. Like they used to sit down and ask questions that was like, now that I look back, it was crazy. Like they'll sit down and be like, what's the difference between us and you? And I'd be like, I really didn't know, but I had kind of been in that situation before. When my mom passed away, I worked for my brother, and he was a hustler, and I used to, bag up for his spots and watch the spots and hustle out of some of the spots or whatever the case may be. And this was my other brother, not my brother who raised me. This was my other brother. I had a lot of brothers, and they all older than me. So when my mom passed away, they kind of took me under their wings. And so that's what I was first doing from the time I was probably like 18 into the time I was probably like 22 or something like that. I gave 4 years of my life to my brother, like selling dope and doing all type of dumbass shit, right? But I lived a good life. We lived good. And so pretty much I used to wonder that about my brother. He was always able to come up and stack his money up and save his money. But I used to watch how my brother used to do it, though, right? He'd be slick. He'd go get him some groceries, right? Instead of smoking a blunt, he'd smoke a joint, right? My brother used to do little stuff to be able to put his money up. You would look up and niggas would be broken. My brother had him $50,000 put up somewhere in the cut, right? Yeah, that's how you got to do it, right? And so I have been raised by the best kind of in a certain way of like, I respect my brothers in the sense of the worldly way of living. They did teach me how to survive on my own and do a lot of things on my own. So it's like I don't have hard feelings towards them. Even though I don't fuck with my family, I don't have a lot of hard feelings towards my brothers and stuff like that. I forgive anything that they did. I just feel like they not helping me be the best me. So they gotta just be ready. Like it's almost feel like I feel like they look at me like more of a competition than us building together. And so they just got to get out the way. But what I say to say that like I had a lot of people envious of me, and it was like people would like pour like salt on the wounds. Like I'm 45 years old now, so I done got a little older. But your boy kind of had a slight be going on in his day, right? And people would be pouring salt on the wounds, so it'd be like the higher ups and different people. They nationwide. You know what I'm saying? They got people all over the nations, and so it'd be like you might think that you popping, but you might not be nowhere, and you might not know. It might be people over here might be doing some big old stupid numbers, and that was the case with me and my squad. And then they'd send out emails like, yo, if you don't get your stuff together, we gonna send Dave Rampus in on top of you, and you gonna be up under him, and he gonna show you how it's done. And it was like that was bringing a lot of animosity in the whole cable war towards me. Like when I show up, people would be like wanting to like me, but then I could tell by me being intuitive, they'll be doing a comparison to they self and me in their head. And they'll see that they not comparing, then I'll see it go instantly to, I don't want to hate you, but it's a spirit inside of me to hate you, nigga. I hate the way you look. I hate the way you smell. I hate the way you talk. I hate everything about you. I hate your car. I hate your house. I hate your kids. I hate the way you take care of your kids. I hate everything about you. I hate the way that you move. I hate your intelligence. I hate everything about you. I hate that you spiritual. I hate that God protect you and love you. I hate you. And I just had to learn to live with that. A lot of people, I mess with their demons. Also, I attract demons to the light. You know what I'm saying? I attract those type of people, but it's like I'm just now I'm elevating my vibration so high that it's hard to deal with. So it's like, so I had like these people, like, when you got that many people around, it'd be crazy stuff be going on. You got 20, 30, 40 niggas around. It's almost like, now that I look back, I don't even know how I even survived. Like I done had like, I'd have been to the point where I was so desperate to build my teams, I'd have had 10 people sleeping in my house. For real, I'd had 10 people sleeping. I done took people from being shy. People in the neighborhood probably thought they had a mental illness, not able to communicate, and I've took them type of people and turned them into top salesmen. I was willing to help anybody. They used to call, when I first started, I used to call it a dirty dozen because the guys that I had could barely pass a background check. But I was just first trying to build me a team. I thought that I was making statements by showing up with 40 and 50 guys. Like one time, this company, I done had a lot of stuff happen to me. One time, like it'd be like I have 30, 40 guys with me, and then I'll go somewhere and I'll be by myself. Like it'd get rough for a second, and everybody will leave me, and I'll be by myself. Then I'll build it all back up, and then everybody rush back in. And I got 30, 40 niggas with me. And back then, it used to be like I wanted them people to come back. I used to be trying to hire them because I feel like it was strength in numbers. Like if I had 50 niggas with me, when I show up, it did. When I show up and I put my name on the roster, they like, oh, that's Dave Rambus. Oh yeah, my name first. It's like sometimes when I show up, like I'm 6'1". Right now I'm 6'1", 200 pounds, right? But a lot of times I show up and niggas be looking like they were waiting on me to show up and be 7 feet tall. No, I'm just 6'1", I'm 200 pounds, but I pack a lot of knowledge and spiritual gifts. But I think that I'm more powerful showing up by myself now. But one time, this company hated on me because when I showed up, this white guy who had been with, he had been in this area for a long time, and he felt like he had deserved to be like the boss in that area, and they sent me in there, and I was the boss. And he was like an older white guy. He felt some type of way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I could tell when I first got to his conversation, he was basically telling me how he felt some type of way, that where the fuck did I come from? My young black guys is his boss. He was calling them like, yo, why is he running the project? So what he ended up doing was he ended up getting me fake fired. Like he tried to get me fired, but I didn't. But then he went and told the company that I got fired. Like it was like crazy. It was like I didn't even check to see. The company called me because it would be a contracted company. They sent us to this mom and pop cable company to help them get their sales up. And so I went in there and we had record numbers for like 6 or 7 months in a row. Like they had boosted them through the roof. We had actually established them as a company and they loved me. I'm talking about when I found out I was fake fired, because one day I was just coming through there, I was like, let me go through there and see that manager, see how they doing. When they said, where you been? It was a lady, they just started hugging me. They was like, where you been? It was like, our sales been so down since you left and you took your team out of here. Where have you been? They was like, oh my gosh. I was like, they said that y'all have fired me. They was like, no, we would not have fired you. They was like, that man came in here trying to get you fired and we told him to go to hell. I was like, what? Yeah, this dude had took my position, man. And how he ended up getting messed up, he fell off a ladder and broke 3 ribs. Somebody called me like, Dave, I heard you fell off the ladder and broke 3 ribs. I was like, nah, nigga, what you talking about? It was like, yeah, somebody named Dave over there where you was at fell off the ladder. That was he had the same name as me. I was like, oh yeah, he fell off a ladder? I was like, yeah, kind of found out he done fell off a ladder, broke 3 ribs, got messed up. I seen him in another state one time too, and he's so old I started to do something. I was like, I ain't gonna do that. I started to smack his old butt. But yeah, he had tried to get me fake fired. And so they was like, we need some people, can you help us? And I had a whole bunch of people right in the next county that was working for another company. Man, I showed up that next day with like 60 people out there. They couldn't believe it. It was so many people, somebody called the police. For real, that's how many people I had showed up with the next day. They couldn't believe I was making statements. And so it was like, it was always me against them. Because I was never willing to take the disrespect. It was almost like, it was like everybody was riding this one nigga dick because he was a millionaire. And he had came up becoming a millionaire doing cable. And don't get me wrong, I don't have no hard feelings for him. I got mad love for him. But like for instance, we got a relationship now. But at the time we didn't have no relationship. And it was like he was cool with all my peoples, you know what I'm saying? But it was like I did my own thing. It was like they was in like Baltimore and I was in the county of Baltimore. And they was like he like owned the company and he was running the company out there. I didn't own the company, but I was running the company. I was running the company for the owners in this county, and I had my own team. You know what I'm saying? And but it was just like it was like a crew. He had a bunch of crews in Baltimore. But one of the major crews that was in Baltimore used to be the crew that I used to run with, because before I had my own team, like I told you, I went to VA and I used to run with some guys. And I was like one of the guys before I had like went off and branched off and started doing my own thing. And I started having my own crew with me. You know what I'm saying? But it was like the whole crew really turned on me. Like how I tell you, the devil getting people, like it was almost like I didn't even notice when I show up to church, I'd be having like 12 people with me. And people in church would be like, man, you know, I've been kicking it with the deacons. They'd be like, man, I want to be like you. I'm like, what you mean? They'd be like, man, every time I see you, you got 12 disciples with you, man. And I'd be counting like, I didn't count it like, I'd be like, oh man, it's like every time I come to church, I just got 12 people with me. You know what I'm saying? It probably look kind of like, yeah, it kind of look like I'm Jesus up in this mud, right? But it's weird that I be by myself now. All them people turned on me, man. I ain't gonna say all, but it's like the ones that had love for me. Like I had a shooter with me all the time, and you know, people that had my back, people that would ride with me to the wheels fall off, right? And it's like people would be trying to get at your people, like at my people that's just there. Like my boy, I met him at church, but he's a gunner though. They like they want to like that's somebody who I still love and have a lot of respect for. Like he ended up getting his trucking license and getting out of town where he had to build his thing, got a beautiful wife, got a beautiful kid, he out here doing his thing. I respect that, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, but they used to try to get in his head, like they even try to have people date him that don't fuck with me, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy how they try to do you when you the chosen one out here, that you have to fight through these battles and these trials and tribulations and eventually learn your lessons to be able to move on to the next level. Because it's feel like, just imagine if you want to be somebody in life, you're going to have haters, you're going to have fans, you're going to have people that's obsessed with you, you're going to have a lot of craziness going on. You got to be strong enough to take it. I was giving you all a little touchdown with some of the narcissism I was dealing with that ain't even relationships. Friends, coworkers, when you try to elevate, you're going to have a lot of hate. You know what I'm saying? Spiritual awareness signing out.